Greetings, Tuhon and Son listeners. I am Ryan Jelena.
And I'm Tuhon Jelena.
Today we gather for an important reason. It is to beat the crap out of something. What is that something, Dad?
That's cancer, Ryan.
We're going to beat the crap out of Actually, we're not going to beat the crap out of cancer. But Dog Brothers and Stick Fighters, they're all going to gather and they are going to go beat the crap out of cancer on November 8th, 2014 at Combat Arts in Mississauga. And this entire episode, we contacted one of the co-founders of Beat the Crap Out of Cancer, FT.RENE Cocolo, and he's going to tell you all about it. But first, before we get into that, we just got to talk about GAMA, the Jelena's Academy of Mixed Martial Arts, founded by Tuhon Philip Jelena. And you've been doing this so long that your website is actually called MontrealMartialArts.com. That domain, you know, when they were giving out domains back in the day, you were like, I want them.
I had to get off my dinosaur to go get that one.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, for those of you who have never heard us before and you just want to know what we teach there, Dad, what do we teach there?
Well, we teach Muay Thai, we teach Jeet Kune Do, we teach Kali, Kajikembo, we boxing, we teach Thai boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we have wrestling.
Yep, and all that. And I like it how I say we teach, and it's like, you know, like, yeah, that's like Mom saying, like, remember that gig we played? You know, it doesn't happen. But anyway, all right, without further ado, here is the interview with FT.RENE Cocolo, starting right now. Oh, and right before we begin, one more time, sorry for all the teasing there. We just gotta say we're having a little bit of technical difficulties that day. Our microphone, me and Dad's microphone, sounds a little weird, but it is still a wonderful interview, and there was no point on not posting it. So that's what we're doing. In fact, I can hear Dad breathing into the microphone right now in anticipation. Stop breathing into the microphone, please.
Okay, I'm not anticipating anything anymore.
All right, and here is the interview of FT.RENE Cocolo. In 3, 2, 1, it's Tuhon time. Bam. All right, on the line we have FT.RENE Cocolo from Toronto, and we're talking about an important event today. We're talking about the upcoming Beat the Crap Out of Cancer event happening in, where was that again?
In Mississauga.
In Mississauga.
And it's at Combat Arts.
At Combat Arts. And Dad, are you going to be a ringmaster again?
I don't know. I think so.
Of course. It's actually an unwritten rule that we are not allowed to have any kind of event without your father being the ringmaster.
All right. So even though we're going to tell the audience a little secret here, we actually had a little recording problem, and unfortunately, everyone's going to have to say the same thing we said 5 minutes ago. But
that's okay, because we don't remember very much.
Yeah, it is necessary. Because,
line.
Line. So make sure it doesn't sound fake at all. So anyway, FT.RENE. All right, we're gonna go through the channels. We want to know, who are you? You're gonna go to the who, what, when, why, and how. So who are you, FT.RENE?
And the where part.
Yes.
All right. So I am FT.RENE Cocolo out of Toronto, Ontario, member of the Dog Brothers, and the co-founder of the Toro Clan, and also co-founder of Beat the Crap Out of Cancer, and a member of Team Sled Dog as well.
Member of Team Sled Dog. All right.
That's right.
So tell us about the Toro Clan. How did that come about?
Toro Clan started about 7 years ago. Basically, the different clans and training groups and the Dog Brothers have their own, kind of unique name. And coming from Toronto, and also, the name Toro also means bull. I thought it'd be kind of cool to put them both together and just call it Toro Clan and just kind of go from there. Again, very exciting story, as I said once before.
It's all good. It is informative. You've been doing martial arts your whole life, basically?
Pretty much. From when I was a kid, I was training with people that my dad kind of pointed me to. I lived all over the world, sort of thing, and my dad was always thought it would be very important for me to learn how to protect myself. Then once I moved to Canada, I started training formally in martial arts.
Okay, so you went to the least dangerous place in the world to start training, is what you're saying after...
Pretty much.
Where did you live before that?
I lived in... when I left Europe, I moved to Venezuela, Caracas, back in the 70s. It was kind of a funky place to live in.
Not all Caracas it was up to be?
No. No. Damn, I don't have a comeback for that either. No, so... It was a pretty freaky place where we lived, and my dad just thought it'd be important for me to learn how to take care of myself.
So once you got to boring, simple Canada, full of moose and maple syrup, you're like, now's a good time to start learning how to fight with knives.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Knives and whatever else you can get your hands on. But yeah, it's basically what happened. I started with Makuro Kabayama back in the early 90s as well. And I trained with him till, I don't know, I think about 97 or so, give or take. And then sporadically went back and forth. In the meantime, I was doing a little bit of boxing, Thai boxing, stuff like that. And then I actually got involved more into Kali. Originally, I didn't like sticks or Kali or stick fighting. I just didn't understand it, didn't really get it. And then I obviously got hooked by it.
So when did the moment arise when you're just like, oh, wait, I don't hate this. I love it.
Well, we talked about, like we said earlier, that people don't know that we did. Back in 91, I met your dad at the JKD family training camp. And I just never heard anything about the Dog Brothers or really stick fighting until then. And I was kind of freaked out by it a little bit and wasn't quite sure it was for me. But eventually, it was one of those things I got really hooked on. It's just too much fun.
All right, and first impression of Dad. Let's get some funny stuff.
When I first met your dad, I thought, like, oh, this is a really mellow individual. Like, he's a real nice guy and all. And then I saw, in the videos where he's doing the vampire killer thing on somebody, and I was like, that seems kind of, that doesn't seem like they're the same person. And I started asking your dad a bunch of questions about equipment, about, what does he wear when he fights? And because I was kind of thinking, maybe I can do this if I wear a little bit of some pads or whatnot. And then I asked him, what do you put on your legs? So, what kind of equipment do you put on your legs? And your dad said pants.
Let's get into what we're doing here, man. What is Beat the Crap Out of Cancer?
Beat the Crap Out of Cancer is just a group of fellow stick fighters that get together and just literally beat each other up and raise money for the Canadian Cancer Society. Originally, it started in 2009, and it was just supposed to be a group of, let me just stop here for a second. It was a group of guys that we all trained together and we fought before we actually officially the Toro clan. And we didn't have enough sparring partners, so we decided to kind of put out a call to whoever wanted to come out and, get some new blood and just kind of, meet some new people. And I was there talking to Tyler Morin, who's my partner in all this. And I said, it would be great if we do this, but actually raise some money for charity. And Tyler said, well, why don't we beat the crap out of cancer? And the name kind of stuck, and we went from there. And it's 5 years running strong now.
Is there a particular reason why you guys chose cancer above all other diseases?
Well, yeah. At the time, the woman I was dating, her father had passed away from lung cancer. I've had a few family members of mine as well that passed away from cancer. Tyler's mom also passed away from cancer, and it just seemed one of those things that fit well with what we were doing.
You got anything to add there, Dad? You've been going to this event for the last couple of years.
Well, yeah, it's just a side thing is that it's really quite impressive because that very first time, when Tyler and Renee got together and did this, they got other friends of theirs and mine too involved in this, and there were all sorts of people who came up from Los Angeles just to compete in this event, and it's really quite amazing how this has grown and how far it's grown. Now there are people who plan to come here. We have got people who come. They've been here from Los Angeles. There are people who now are coming from the Southwest United States and the West Coast. We've got an amazing amount of people who actually participate in this thing, and it's amazing because it's not done for anything other than the altruistic idea of let's raise money for cancer, and let's use this method to do so.
Yeah, the great thing too is what I started seeing is we have people who are coming to the event who are more like they do more like the weak half style stick fighting with a lot of equipment, and you'll see them actually jump in on one of the fights, and then as time progresses, they start taking off more and more equipment. So they're literally fighting like we do, right, with almost nothing as far as equipment goes, and that's a pretty cool thing. And especially also the event is not yet to fight full out. You can fight at whatever level you want. So if you want to do like a soft stick fight, or if you want to hit each other with pillows, that's perfectly fine. I think last year I fought a 7-year-old, and she beat me. But it didn't help that your dad also held me down and kicked me. But that's another story.
Hey, where is Beat the Crap Out of Cancer taking place?
Beat the Crap Out of Cancer is being held at Combat Arts Training Academy in Mississauga, Ontario. Yeah, you can find the information for where the event is being held at beatthecrapoutofcancer.com or on our Facebook page as well.
No, I'm very curious. So So who is coming up for this?
Well, we have our ringmaster, Tuhon Philip Jonas, also known as Sled Dog.
Yeah, Salty Dog, right?
Sled Dog, that is. they all start with S. Philip, please cut me some slack. And then from New Mexico, we have Salty Dog, another of the founders of the Dog Brothers, and we have some of his cats coming down as well. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I know Eric Wong's coming down. By cats I mean people, not like you know what I'm talking about.
I know. Well, it's cats coming to a dog gathering. I mean,
Yeah, well, you know.
They come as cats, they leave as dogs.
Yeah, so I was saying Eric Wong, he's been stick fighting with Arlen quite a bit. He's also an MMA fighter. Just people from all over the place. It's a really cool experience. Like we've met some really awesome people, and like Philip said, these people are they're preparing for this like a year in advance, and raising money and everything else, which is great and scary because I usually get about a week prior to the event to actually like swing a stick and maybe run around the block or something.
It's funny. I was reading a post that Brett Sims, who's also committed to being there this year, said, he said, yes, I'm going to beat the crap out of cancer, or as I've come to call it, the Brett Sims break a small bone in my hand day.
Yeah, well, Brett is that's pretty. He's an awesome individual, and he's also got like crazy heart when it comes to fighting. That guy fights like 12, 13, 14 times at an event, which is pretty crazy because the average fighter usually fights maybe 3 times, 4 times. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, what's interesting is when I go to Dog Brothers gatherings, or just I filmed a couple of them, and it's really funny watching these people, like especially when they're all eager and it's early in the day and they're all like lining up to fight as if they're waiting at Wendy's for like food.
My favorite part about the lineup is, when you start off, you're all joking and happy, and as you start getting closer and closer to the front, the jokes stop, and you just get real serious, and like you get the cold sweats and everything. And the person's looking at you that 2 seconds ago was cracking a joke is looking at you like they want to, like they want to beat you, like you owe money, sort of thing. It's it's pretty funny.
How do you guys make the money exactly? Like, you guys go, do the fighters contribute, do other people contribute? Like, how does this work?
What happens is the guy who loses, like he's lying on the ground, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to go through his wallet.
Well, see, what I actually do is I wait till people get changed, and I go to the change room. Oh, sorry, that was another event. No, what we usually do is we have a website that people can donate to, like through the Canadian Cancer Society. Pretty much that's the main way we make money, and any money that we make at the event goes right to the Canadian Cancer Society, whether we're selling T-shirts or anything else like that. Yeah, that's pretty much the way we do it. And then there's people who have their own schools who will have raffles at their schools, or they have seminars, and then they take the money and they give it to the Canadian Cancer Society, which is actually something we're doing as well. On the Sunday of the event, we're going to have Philip and Arlen do a couple small workshops, because I find the best time to have a workshop is the day after you fight.
And can people come watch? They pay?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. They just come in, and there's a small fee to come watch and just kind of hang out. Last year, we had a bunch of people from the Gatka school show up, and we actually had one of them compete as well. When people hear Dog Brothers or anything that's related to Dog Brothers, they think it's going to be some crazy, psychopath type fight thing. And when they actually show up and realize that we're nice people, they tend to come back. Like, we started off with 46 fighters at our first event. I think last year we had 78, and that's a lot of people to participate and fight over 3 or 4 hours. But still, we still managed to get a lot of fights in, thanks to Philip, who kind of tells people politely to get off the mats.
Well, a long time ago, I will mention that because a lot of times people after these things seem to need to hug their buddy that they just had the fight with, and they do this. But unfortunately, if you have 78 people and you just take a small little bit, say, okay, it's an average of like a minute and a half fight, 78 people, and if you want to have 3 fights, it's going to take you like 14 hours. So you want to make sure that people, I'm sorry, get off the mat. I love you. I want you to be here. I want you to come back. But do your hugging over there, because I know it sounds kind of cutthroat, but at the same time, we have a lot of people, and the thing is, if people don't realize that after they've done this and they feel great, the first thing they want to do is again. They want to fight again. But I just want to make sure that people go through this and that they feel comfortable and they feel safe and they feel that they can come in there and do it as they do, not feel as if they've been cheated for time. And I think that's important.
Which is great, because originally I thought you were doing that because of me, because after every fight I just wanted to hug you. Awesome. He's like, yes, Rene, go ahead. Just go to the end of the line, please.
But, get off me, cuddling dog.
But you're my Tuhon.
Yeah, well, Tuhon over there. It's all right. So we covered a lot of stuff about the event. I've been around long enough in this world, where I can say for certain that I know what it's like when an event starts and how it can evolve within even a year, but never alone 5. Mm-hmm. What would you say is like the largest? When did the band get bigger? You know what I mean? Like the first year you got this, but then was there a huge difference in the second year, or has it been gradually each year?
Well, it's actually kind of funny because first year we had like 46 fighters. Second year we had about 50. Third year we had 22. And I was like, oh God, I think this is it. Like we're done with this. And then the following year just started going back up. And now, like I said, last year we had over 70 fighters. And I think this year we'll probably have around the same number, if not a bit more. So I think because of the new schools getting involved and because we're, definitely crossing the border, there's a lot of people who want to come check it out. And also that being said, we also have Beat the Crap Out of Cancer at a few other locations as well on the same day. We have it in Bloomington, Illinois, Los Angeles, Hawaii, in Japan, and in Ireland as well.
Gee whiz, so like WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think for myself, after this year, I'd like to start actually going to the other ones and just kind of checking them out and just kind of let the people down here run this one. Just because, you start something, you want to kind of see how it's being handled in other places, and I think it'd just be cool just to visit the other joints and check it out.
And making sure it's not just a bunch of guys in fencing masks playing like backgammon or something.
No. Yeah, and I have such an easy time crossing the border. It's I say that because I crossed the border with your dad when we went to Connecticut once for a seminar, and I got hauled in for, I think, what was it, about an hour or so?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just because I didn't pay them $6 to get into the U.S. And then the guy came up to me and asked me if I spoke and understood English, which I thought was kind of funny. But anyways, definitely I'd love to go and check out the guys out in Japan. I heard they really mix it up, so it'd be good to go out there and get my butt kicked a little bit.
Yeah, that's and you saying it's happening in all these different countries at the same time and the same day, and it's growing and more people are coming and there's more and more people. It's getting successful. There's a bunch of martial arts hipsters out there being like, there's only 10 of us? That was awesome. remember when it wasn't cool?
Yeah, but it's what's amazing though is that, as I said, that the very first year, what Rene just mentioned about all these other places, I mean, quite honestly, that the second year that everybody figured that it was going to be easy. They didn't realize how much work Rene put in and Tyler put in and everybody put in to making that first one work as well as it did. They had no idea when you actually put out work that it's not snapping your fingers and things happening. It's work, and oh yeah, work. We had other people who would approach us who wanted to do more. But quite honestly, the real amount of work that you have to do to set one of these things up is pretty daunting. And I'll get some forms and I'll put up a website, and my dad's got a barn and we'll have a show, and not at all. It's like it's a lot of work because you have to make sure that these people know that it's for real.
And in general, it's amusing as some people like coming in at the very last minute, doing 2 things and say, "Yep, I helped."
Yeah. Oh, it's happened. And even like last year, there's a couple of people that started up these Facebook pages with names that are very similar to ours. And, there's also people who took pictures they were actually at the event, took pictures and said it was their organization that put the event on and whatnot. And it's funny because, I'm not the kind of person who just sits back and says, oh, that's interesting. Maybe they'll understand that's a mistake. I actually, call these people up and have conversations with them. And they're like, "Oh, we didn't realize there was going to be anything bad. We're helping you guys out by saying we were there."
By lying to them, right?
Yeah,
by taking credit for it. Yeah, it's interesting. There's this video I did. I edited it for this band called the Brains, and I was writing some lyrics with them on a couple of their albums I wrote with them. But this was the first time with them, and it was for their self-titled album. And I was making videos of the making of. And they did this duet with this band from Toronto called The Creep Show. And it was their singer, Sarah. She came down and did some vocal tracks, and I did like a little compilation of all this. Now, the reason why I'm saying all this is that we put up the video, and it's been seen quite a few times, but on YouTube, I was looking for it, and someone else reposted it. And that thing's been seen like 50,000 times as opposed to our 3. So I'm kind of like, they didn't take my name off of it, so that's good. But at the same time, it doesn't do any service to the band's channel by taking away possible views, It's
True.
easier to put something into one source, right?
Yeah, well, and the thing, we had some people, like, we have basically, if you want to take videos or pictures of your fights, like, go ahead. Like, we don't care. It's actually, I'd rather have people take that and go home and train or whatever. I just ask that they don't really use it to self-promote. And, we had one person who took a video of, and it was funny because the person was actually getting their butt kicked. But, with creative editing, anybody can look like they're a champ. And they made their fighter look like he was like this amazing stick fighter. And then they posted it on their website saying, hey, we teach stick fighting, and we got first place at this event. And I was like, first place? I'm like, wow, I didn't know they were giving out medals.
Oh, I didn't know you beat cancer. That's cool. All right. If you beat cancer fair and square, then I guess you should be rewarded. Like you should tell people about it. Single-handedly beat cancer. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Congratulations.
I got first place.
Yeah. Well, any funny stories that have ever happened during the time, like the first year? We're backtracking, but to understand when something gets larger and it becomes the butterfly, we had to understand what the caterpillar was. When you were first putting the event together, were you and Tyler kind of scratching your heads saying, "So how do we do this exactly?" Like, do you tell people, "So you're gonna come, you're gonna get hurt, and we're gonna make money off of it"?
Well, it's kind of one of those hard things to sell, right? It's like I can't walk up to people and say, "Hey, can I hit you with a stick?" And then you get to hit me back, and chances are I might break a bone or you might break a bone, and it'll be for a good cause. And people are like, "Nah, I don't think I want to do that." So we did the whole like you can do whatever you want and show up and fight as light or as hard as you want. And I remember the first Beat the Crap Out of Cancer. Tyler and I said to ourselves, well, this could be kind of a stepping stone for people who want to go to like a Dog Brothers gathering and fight kind of full out. So why don't we kind of show what a full out fight can be like? And we totally went for it. Like, we fell into the crowd, and it was funny because as we're fighting, people were sitting around us. They didn't realize that we're not going to stop. And until I started, we're punching each other, headbutts and everything else. When we got up, like, the whole room was really quiet. It was like, I think we might have gone overboard a little bit. And then we just saw the escalation started, right? Like, everybody's like, "Hey, if those guys can do it, so can I." And it was it was pretty funny. It was seeing people who in the past would only wear a lot of equipment, all of a sudden are fighting with just a fencing mask, right, or batting gloves. To me, is a pretty cool thing.
When you were saying that, I was just picturing the person in the bleachers just slowly get up and just start going. Cue the Disney music.
Yeah.
Cool beatings.
Yeah. Well, so my sister came to the first Beat the Crap Out of Cancer, and she's seen some of the videos, of like gatherings and whatnot, but she's never seen anything like firsthand like that. And she's like, "Well, I thought it was really entertaining and terrifying at the same time." And I was like, "So you're gonna come back?" She goes, "Yeah, I think I will." But I don't know. We have more fighters than spectators, which I think is kind of funny.
Spread the word. It's funny to watch people get beaten. I know it's not as popular as the Roman days, but
just to make sure, you have some swag that's going to be available for purchase at the thing. Last time we had a silent auction. Are we doing that again this year?
We got a silent auction as well. I also have some custom Beat the Crap Out of Cancer t-shirts, which I'm making. And also, the night of the event is Toro Clan's 7th year anniversary, so we're going to have a party there as well. So I wanted to mention that as well. And there'll be just a bunch of... Pardon me?
Do we have a bar specifically, or are you going to do it at Combat Arts?
No, I think we're going to... I think we have a venue. They haven't confirmed with me yet.
Okay.
Because, they keep asking, so what kind of group are you guys? We like to hit each other with sticks. Like, hello?
Yeah, but like most real martial artists, you kind of like don't feel the need to do a jump kick through a door after a long day of working,
Yeah, you would think so.
Oh, okay.
No, it's more than likely to happen at the same place we did it last year, which I think it was Arizona's. But again, until I confirm with them, I don't want to say anything. But there's one thing I did want to say, and is to give Philip some credit on all this, because if it wasn't for him, none of this would have happened. He's definitely responsible for me staying in this, and definitely for Tyler and everybody else. Well. And, he's been a great motivator and a mentor for all of us. So if it wasn't for him, this definitely would have never happened.
You said there was a slow year. Like, did you guys actually debate not doing it the next year? No, it's going to happen regardless.
Hey, we're going to get to fight more often. This is great.
Yeah, like I said, the martial arts hipsters are like...
No, it's actually it's like when you go to a closed door gathering and there's like 10 guys and you're like, damn it. Like, I wouldn't mind a break in between fights. With like 70 people, you can have a decent sized break to recuperate.
When 70 people can go out for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine all of you just walking to a bar at the same time. That's like a legion.
We're not really walking. It's more like limping or being dragged in.
Nice.
But, actually, I beat the crap out of cancer. The injuries aren't that bad. Sorry.
Always some charming boo-boos to show the ladies at the, bar afterwards.
And well, not only that, we have ladies who fight.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, my gal fights. She fought last year. Actually, she fought at the gathering as well. But beat the crap out of cancer was her stepping stone to go fight at a gathering. But we have quite a few gals that are fighting now.
We've had the Canadian Dog Brother gathering here for the past 3 years, and I can attest that it was from the inspiration of having the Beat the Crap Out of Cancer so successful that we started doing the Dog Brothers gathering. I mean, we could have done it anyway, but it was at the same time, from seeing that, we were emboldened to say, yeah, we can do that here. Because up to this point, they've had one in Europe and they've had them in Los Angeles, but we said, hey, we're strong enough. We are a big enough draw ourselves that we can do this our own. And so now we've had them for a little while, and directly to credit of Rene and Tyler, because the first one was held in Toronto under their auspices, and the last two have been here in Montreal. But without the whole family working together, this never would have happened.
Bringing the dogs back up north.
I don't think we'll be allowed in Mad Hatter's for a while, but
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? The owner bought you guys a bunch of shots. It was awesome. It was crazy. I called Mad Hatter's ahead of time, and I'm like, I have a really large group of people coming. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And I'm sure it was like a waitress or something that was like, great, I'll get a lot of tips. I shouldn't call anyone else. And then when all these people showed up, the person who took over later on was just like, I wish someone would have called me. So now they know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think their biggest mistake was putting a whole bunch of money in the jukebox and then giving me the controls to it. What did you say?
Dogs out. Oof,
yeah.
Oof, 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 oof.
I think we listened to that 13 times in a row, I think.
Oh, God. Oh, so everyone who went up to the controls thought they were the first one making the joke.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys got any funny stories about knowing each other, like, over the years? Like, anything amusing?
I think one of the funniest...
I'm sure Penelope has a few things to say about it.
It says dog in the bathroom and not a woman who needs
Where is Penelope?
I think just the funny story for me was when we actually crossed the border. I think that was pretty funny because I wasn't really expecting to be held up for as long as we were. And again, this is like my first time traveling with Philip. I was wondering what he was thinking the whole time. He's like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I usually, every time I travel to the U.S. for one reason or another, I get hauled in for a while.
You're like, we hauled him in last time. Let's see if he's still suspicious.
Yeah, it was 3.5 hours last time when I went to Santa Fe, and it's just because there was a mix-up. One computer said I was allowed into the country, the other one wasn't. And I was in this office in the Homeland Security, and there's people shackled. Like this one guy's like, "What are you in for?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I think my passport's not good." And then one guy's there for like murder or something. They're going through my bags, they're ripping everything apart. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing in Santa Fe?" And I'm like, "I'm just on vacation." And he pulled up my fencing mask. It's got the Predator on it. He's like, "What's this?" I'm like, "A fencing mask." He goes, "Do you fence?" I'm like, "Sort of." Then he pulls out like a training knife. He's like, "What is this for?" But anyway, so I got fingerprinted. They asked me to take my shirt off so they could see all my tattoos and take pictures of them and everything. It was a giant mess. It was kind of funny. Now, I don't know what they were looking for, but I did miss my flight, and it had another 8 hours to my travels.
That deadly Canadian gang, the Maple Leafs.
Yeah. Dog Brothers, you say?
They can't win a Stanley Cup, but they can run a real area.
What is this friends at the end of the day nonsense? So you hit each other, but you're friends? Tase him. I think that, and I think just generally messing with people at gatherings, that's kind of my favorite thing to do, especially if they're new. At the first gathering in Toronto, there's a bunch of guys kind of hanging out on the side. They're all freaked out. Their eyes are giant. And I walked up. I go, "Hey, man, did you guys tape your fingertips together?" And they're like, "Why should we do that?" I go, "Well, when the sticks hit them, your fingers blow apart." And you can see that they start getting really nervous. I said, "And by the way, make sure you put a pair of socks in your cup, because when you get knocked out, you normally pee yourself." So they got really freaked out by that. But other than that, I don't know, Philip. I think you probably have a better memory of anything silly that I've done.
It's that time when I went down to one of the gatherings with Loki, and I wasn't in really good shape, but I figured, what the heck, I had that not young but younger man's misunderstanding about how badly you age, and so I started fighting, and things weren't so bad the first fight. Then the second fight, I get in there, and the first thing that happens, this guy jumps on me and gets my head into a guillotine headlock, and it's like, oh God, what the f***? And then I was like, it's like this frustration of I didn't feel in danger. It was just one of those, Jesus Christ, what's this? And so I popped him off, and we dropped into the little thing, and he's on the floor and on the guard. And that's sort of when I said, I've been doing a bunch of jiu-jitsu at that time, so I passed his guard pretty easily. And I'm sitting on top of him going, what the fuck am I going? Then yes. And that's when I did the Vampire Slayer one. That's like,
nice.
I rose high above him with my stick in my hand, and I dropped down. And the only thing that's funny is that the whole crowd was quiet up until that point, and then you hear this, oh.
We had a tradition that when we go to a gathering the night before we go out, so needless to say, the next day when we show up at a gathering, we're not, we don't really look like we're ready to fight. We're more, we look more like we're ready to puke. There's one night we stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning, and then it was, we fought around 9 or 10, and I showed up, and I always wear either a Team Sled Dog t-shirt or a Gamma t-shirt, and I was just trying to stay awake, so I'm walking around, and Matt Boo walks up, he goes, "Rene, your shirt's on backwards." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, I'm just showing people where I belong." And there's literally a picture of me walking around with my shirt on backwards, holding onto my stomach, looking like I'm about to lose my lunch. Which is another thing. If you are fighting at Hermosa Beach, don't go to the diner and have the kitchen sink omelet before you fight. That's a really, really bad idea. I was fighting Terry Crutcher, and he was trying to sickle me to throw me on the ground, and I had my forehead against his chest because he's 6'4" or whatever he is, 300 pounds, and I kept saying, "Don't, I'm gonna throw up on you if you throw me on the ground." And I didn't throw up on him, but it was one of those memories that I had.
That's the thing about a nice fencing mask; it strains that stuff so well.
Yeah, but then it gets into your eyes. I think sometimes I get so excited about I'm at these events and I actually get to do something. You get to fight, because normally when you're hosting an event, you don't do anything. You're running back and forth all the time. But I get so excited about fighting at these events. Even when I fought in Montreal the last time, I was moving around and I got hit in the arm, and I was like, "Wow, I'm not wearing the elbow pads. I forgot to put those on." I got punched in the face, and I'm like, shit, I don't have a mouth guard in either. Just I go back and like everything is piled by beside my bag. You know, I should have a list. Like, put this on before you fight.
Make your squire do it for you next time.
Well, at least this way, people who are listening could be like, okay, so elbow pads, check.
Mouth guard, check.
Sock and crotch, check.
I'm just trying to think of anything else. I think most of the stuff that's happened has been outside of gatherings, where we act silly usually. Like the nights after the gathering was like, even the last Beat the Crap Out of Cancer was great because everybody's like, you know, hyped up and they're having a great time. Like, we all came back to my place and everybody's like having beers and they're saying, "Oh my God, wasn't that fight amazing?" And I was in the corner sleeping. So just so glad it was finally all over.
Finally glad they let you into your apartment.
And they're like waking me up. It's like, "Hey, you want to see the fight? You did this, you did that." I'm like, "Nah, dude, I just want to sleep." Get lost.
All right, everybody.
Anyways.
So that was a nice, tight episode of Tuhon and Son. Thanks for calling in, Renee, and letting us know about your event. And everybody out there, if you want to find out about Beat the Crap Out of Cancer, you go to beatthecrapoutofcancer.com.
And you have to understand that you do not have to participate. You do not have to even go. If you want to contribute, you go to the Beat the Crap Out of Cancer website. You make the connection to the Canadian Cancer Society and make a donation because they would love to have your money and they don't even care if you go.
You don't need to donate hundreds of dollars yourself. You could donate something like, if you donate $10, it's like, oh my God, that's like an expensive meal at Wendy's. Just don't eat at Wendy's. Give money to the event. And if everybody donates that kind of stuff.
You're just trying to drive Wendy's out of business, but that's okay.
I am trying
That's
to
a
drive
good thing.
Wendy's out of business. I ordered 2 chicken burgers 2 times in a row and it was awful. I want my money back. Give it to Beat the Crap Out of Cancer.
Excellent. Well, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
No, thank you very much, and we will see you in a few weeks.
Awesome. We'll see you then.
And that was another episode of Tuhon and Son, a noble episode. And for all you out there who want to support it, once again, beatthecrapoutofcancer.com. You don't have to go. You don't have to fight, but you can help. So isn't that wonderful? All right, so Dad, you're ready to rock. I think we're
I'm
done.
ready to rock.
Okay, you're ready to rock. All right, so Ringmaster Tuhon, Philip Jelena, is going to be there. And if you like the show, please share it because more people need to know about Tuhon and Son. And if you have Twitter, follow us on Twitter because it is such an exclusive club at the moment that every tweet you do can be replied to because, there's not a zillion tweets yet banging down our door,
Yeah, we don't sound like a lot of birds, just 1 or 2.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's just that you and I are Twitter illiterate, and we kind of did it, because all the art cool kids were doing it, but not quite sure why. All right.
I'm laughing because I'm kind of one of those knowing, yeah, you're right.
Exactly. So anyway, out there, everybody who likes Tuhon and Son, thank you so much for watching, and to everyone who commented on I've never been to Spain, but Dad has episode, man. People from Spain were saying, hey, thanks for coming out and stuff on our page.
Wow.
Yeah, Dad doesn't check our page. I do, and then I tell him about it right here. Yeah, so forgive me for not mentioning your name exactly right now because I don't have my laptop in front of me, and we just got to get this episode out on the air because unlike some of our other episodes, this episode actually is time sensitive. This event is in 2 weeks, 2.5, but that's coming up real soon, and that's 2.5 weeks where you can make a difference. You can make a difference in 2.5 weeks, or at least I certainly hope so.
Yep.
You can make a difference in 2.5 minutes. Oh, bam. All right, so wrapping up this episode, I am Ryan Jelena.
And I'm Philip Tuhon Jelena.
And we are 2 Peds in a podcast. Oh, that's awesome. I just thought of that this second. I rock.
But I'm a P. I'm Philip. You're an R.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Thank
mind
you.
you.
Thank you, PR team. Boom! It's happening again. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't drink tea more often. I should just work vigorous, long hours outdoors. It's better than coffee, apparently. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have yourselves a good night.
Good night.